What's happening, guys? Austin More Skills Gaming, and today we're going to check out pals that haven't officially been announced yet, except for one of them was announced today, but some of these pals don't even have names yet. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, a little disclaimer, all this information comes from the fandom wiki page, so just keep that in mind. Snow Fox right here, I think we do know the name of this one. It is Foxicle. Yeah, here's a closer look at this one right here. Kind of looks like Ninetales. Okay, here is another pal that is unannounced. This pal's name is Violet. Maybe a play on words with the word violet. Kind of looks like a flower. The element here is grass. Here we have Pin King, another penguin pal. There was another penguin pal that we mentioned in my other video. I think, if I remember correctly, the name was Pinglet or something. That penguin had like rocket launchers, but this is another penguin right here, and the element is frost and water. All right, so the next pal was the pal that was announced today as I'm recording this video. It is Azurobe. Azurobe is a ice element pal. It seems to be, from the video that I watched, it kind of like had like this ice beam. This pal definitely reminds me of like Dratini from like Pokemon. Kind of like has the same body shape over here, but a very pretty looking pal nonetheless. So this next pal right here is called Astrojohn. Now, we don't know too much about this pal right here. We do see some flames around the wings, so maybe it is a flame element type of pal. But it does say at the very top of the screen, it's Ravager of the Stars. Whatever that means, but it does look pretty cool nonetheless. Up next, we have Dai Hao, which appears to be a neutral element. It is a ride pal, obviously, as you can see the player is riding on it. So up next we have Dragostrophe. I'm not too sure if I'm pronouncing these names correct or not, but this pal right here is a ride pal and a fly pal. We have seen that in videos. This pal is the Lord of Darkness, so we can all assume that the element is going to be dark. Alright, so this pal has a very, very weird name. Element here will most likely be water or ice, I'm going to assume. Alright, so I'm not really a huge fan of like this model right here. It kind of looks like Turtwig from Walmart, but this pal, his name is Gus Moss, and it is a grass and ground element. I can kind of see some muck in there too, like muck and like Turtwig had a baby, and that's just such a weird combination. All right, so this next pal, his name's Gyarados. No, I'm just kidding. But this pal's name is Your Montai. I'm actually plugging these names into ChatGPT and asking it, hey, how do you pronounce these? Because I honestly have no idea. I'm not the best at pronouncing things. I have no idea how they come up with these models. I don't know if they just like put it in Blender and just make some slight modifications to it, because it's definitely not 100% original. But I mean, nothing really is nowadays, you know? Originality is just undetected plagiarism. Whoever said that, I will put their name up there. So here we have Kelp Sea, a water element pal. Definitely looks like a seal. Here we have Lunaris, which is a bunny pal, I'm going to assume. The element here is neutral. I actually like the model of this one right here. I think the model looks pretty good. Here we have Rashor, which is it looks to be like a hog, but the element here is neutral. You know what, the more that I look at that, I think it might be a boar, like a wild boar instead of a hog, because boars kind of like have those horns. Here we have Zokaku. I'm not too sure what the heck it is. It may be an insect. It may be a metal bird of some sort. I don't know. But we do know it is a flyable mount from this picture right here. All right, this pal is really adorable. This pal is called Teafant. It's like an elephant that's also a teapot. Now, according to the wiki fandom, the element here is water. Up next, we have Wampo, and Wampo definitely reminds me of a Pokemon. This is an ice element pal. So up next, we have this mole-looking pal, and this pal doesn't have a name yet from what I can see. Not too much is known about this one right here, but it looks a little adorable, I guess you can say. I can kind of picture this pal having like a hammer as a weapon, though obviously that's pure speculation. So up next we have this centaur looking pal, and definitely seems to have some camouflage going on, because you can barely like even see the pal itself or even know what it is. It blends so well with the rocks, but we don't really know too much about this one right here, so hopefully we can learn more about it in the near future. So up next we have this whale looking pal. Definitely massive. Like, look at the size of this thing right here. So it'd be really cool if we can travel on this through the ocean and the rivers. We might be able to, but man, look at the size. It's probably an alpha pal, I'm going to assume. If I had to speculate the element, obviously, gotta go with water. Now here is another pal that we have seen in tons of different trailers and videos. I don't believe there's a name for this one right here. There's no name on the fandom wiki site, but if there is, leave a comment down below. But it definitely looks like Eevee's evil twin. It kind of reminds me of Vixie that we met in the other video. Yeah, because Vixie looks pretty similar to that right there. So maybe this is like the Dark Vixie or something like that. But pretty cool. Really cute pal. Here is another pal that we have that has no name. Appears to be you can use this as a flying mount. There's like so many pals that you can ride on and fly on. It's like all these pals just have like so many different uses. So it's gonna be really cool once we get our hands on the game and we, you know, really experiment with all the pals and what we can really do with them. I'm so looking forward to that. Up next, we have this pterodactyl looking pal. Definitely looks pretty similar to Aerodactyl from Pokemon, getting some Aerodactyl vibes right here. Up next, we have this cow pal, and as you can see, there is some equipment on the back. So I'm assuming that we'll probably be able to use our pals for, they'll be able to have equipment on them while they work in the factories and the farms and such. He does look a little sad, so he looks like we should probably pet him a little bit and cheer him up a little bit. So here we have this Rose Princess looking pal. Definitely giving me some Rosilla vibes right here. If I had to speculate the element, obviously we gotta go with grass. Alright, so up next we have this owl looking pal, and it appears to be wearing a witch hat on its head. If I had to speculate the element, probably go with dark. But hey, at least it looks nothing like Hoot Hoot from Pokemon, so maybe this is somewhat original. Alright, so up next we have this flaming hot beast right here. Definitely looks pretty strong, that's for sure. This could be an alpha pal. Obviously, you know, the element's gotta be fire here. Probably gonna find him in the volcano biomes. Alright, so here we have Bolt Mane, and it looks a lot like Luxray. The element here is electric. Here we have Lylene. This definitely looks like a Pokemon right here. It was that one Pokemon. It started with like a G and it was like psychic. I can't think of the name of it. All right, so here we have Mayrafe or Marafe, one of the two. But this is another pal that you can ride on, and the element is dark. I gotta say, I do like the look of this one right here. I think the blue fire around the wings, I think it's blue fire, but whatever it is, it looks pretty cool. So this pal right here also in a way looks a little similar to Gyarados. Now this pal is one of the pals that we saw in the video when they're talking about the breeding process. So I'm going to assume this is one of the fusion pals right here. And finally we have what appears to be if somebody took Sparkit and Relaxosaurus and bred them together. So I'm assuming that's what they did. They bred Sparkit and Relaxosaurus, and they got this thing right here, which is a yellow electric dinosaur. It looks really cool. Anyway, guys, I'll do it for this video. Once we know more information about the pals and the pal deck, I plan to do an updated video, so stay tuned for that. And if you liked the video, give it a like, greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you next time.